Start with the Chronicle this morning. Heath Goldfields pays 136 million Ghana cedis to settle legacy worker liabilities, according to the mining company. This is in line with the agreement they had with the General Mine Workers Union. So 136 million paid to settle legacy worker liabilities. I'm not an alien in the NPP. Guess who is speaking?
Who?
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. He says he's not an alien in the NPP. The rubber group ANRAG is rejecting legitimacy and monopoly claims, flags forex risks in raw rubber exports, and Ghana sits on $1.5 trillion worth of gold. This is according to CPS. And the scripture from the Chronicle this morning, Matthew 10:33. But whoever denies me before men, I'll also deny him before my Father who is in heaven.
You know the bit about the gold that we sit on. So Professor Alagidede, yesterday I was at the lecture. He's talking about the fact that, look, we have a lot of minerals, but he would just focus on gold. Now, based on those minerals that we have, if we were to sustainably mine them, it will go a long way in helping us, and we wouldn't need to borrow. And so what he's saying is, look, that's how you have to run your economy. And in doing so also, you need to own a majority of your minerals. And it will go a long way in helping you.
I have this big chart of Ghana with areas with minerals. And it's crazy. You look at the Takoyan Basin, the Birimian Basin, and the mineral deposits that we have. It's all about mining sustainably and investing the money right.
Exactly.
To drive the development we want.
The daily guide for this morning: Heath Goldfields pays 136 million liabilities to former workers. Ken opens wide lead in NPP race. NPP flag bearer raise aspirants to sign peace pact. And Bawumia beats peace drums. Dubai, India account for 98% of small-scale gold exports. Now, this is from a Joy News Joy Research, which found that out of the 103,804 kilograms of small-scale gold exported, the two countries absorbed 98.8% of Ghana's small-scale gold exports in 2025, and the remaining 2% was spread across 8 other countries, with Switzerland and South Africa accounting for most of that 1.2. But analysts have indicated that such level of concentration in the two dominant countries exposes Ghana to some external risk, causing implication for the country's gold export earnings. And studies have also shown that much of Ghana's small-scale gold is exported in unrefined form and without a robust traceability framework, which excludes the country from higher value markets that require stricter sourcing and refining standards. So we're not, prepared to do a few things right, so we take it to those who are willing to accept our gold. So those are the front page stories
from the daily guide. Now, more from on gold. The new finder says Ghana's gold reserves estimated at $146 billion CPS. Now, the earlier story I read said that Ghana sits on $1.5 trillion in gold, also CPS. Now, let me give you the context and quote what the prof said. He said that at current prices, the value of Ghana's proven gold reserves alone is estimated at about $146 billion. This figure forms part of a broader natural asset base valued at roughly $1.5 trillion. So that should give us a bit of context here. Now, more stories. Debt restructuring ripple effects hits Ghana's financial system. This is according to an analyst. Ghana to curb $127 billion revenue leakages with new AI customs tool. And Kafui Day is joining Z Multimedia.
Great. So I've got the lecture here. I've got the slides. I look at our reserves. That's gold, 1,000 metric tons. Total value USD is $146.2 billion. Total revenue value Ghana city, 1.5 trillion. So is the city value. That's 1.5 trillion. That's it. The insight this morning says rising tensions in NPP primary rekindle the flame of Pan-African solidarity. VIP urges Africa in historic visit to Guinea. And Adenta's new MCE moves to end schools under trees permanently. And Trade Minister hails fall in cement prices, thumbs up, exchange rate stability. Timber monitoring team steps on powerful toes as police arrest 8. And Central East Regional Police Command busts 3 suspects in car stealing syndicate. All on the front page of the Insight.
I'll give you the daily graphic now. 98% of lands can't be registered. Owners at risk in disputes. Now, the story by Emmanuel Bohoxen says that over 98% of land in the country cannot be registered. With the title, the situation makes it extremely difficult for purchasers to properly secure such lands, leaving them vulnerable in land disputes. A justice of the Court of Appeal, Justice Alexander Osetutu, who made the assertion, explained that only the Greater Accra region, some parts of Kumasi, Kaswa and its environs had been declared as registration districts. Winston, this is a big problem. 98% of lands can't be registered.
Yeah, because we've not declared the others as registration districts. It's that simple.
But if we don't do that, land is one key asset that enables every form of business. Any form of business needs some form of land to be able to work. And it's one of the big pain points for a lot of business people. Why is it that after LAP 1, LAP 2, you remember Land Administration Project 1, Land Administration Project 2, at a point we were threatened with Land Administration Project 3. After all these investments in all these things, why are we still here and land issues have not been resolved and harmonized in the country? This is sad. Anyway, more stories from the Daily Graphic. Oforiatta case, Arthur Kennedy urges voluntary return. Ayikwe Otu backs trial in absentia. And name airport after Kwame Nkrumah, not Kotoka. This is new advocacy on the naming of the Kotoka International Airport. An Immigration Council unveils new project for border protection. That's the Daily Graphic, Winston.
I'm interested in the Kotoka International Airport. We'll come back to that story. You know, whether it should be named after Kwame Nkrumah or whether it should be Accra International Airport. You know, do we necessarily have to name that after Kwame Nkrumah?
In fact, there's a suggestion that even all the universities named after personality should revert to their original name, so that Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology becomes University of Science and Technology. We have Cape Coast University, we have University of Ghana, SD Dombo, Akenti, Apia Menka, all those. We just name them according to what they've been set up for, to avoid any future confusion. Those are some suggestions some people have made.
Great. The overseer for this morning says GRA's AI initiative had paused to boost revenue by 45% at no cost to importers. I only believe in election day poll, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. He says the poll that he believes in is what happens on the
election day.
Yeah, of course, but that's for the poll you should believe in. But you would know whether or not that is going to work. Election Watch demands police intervention to de-escalate NPP primary tensions. Please contest to represent as well Nima NDC grassroots appeal to Amina Adams Mahama Ture. That sounds like the
wife.
The wife.
Yeah.
So we're told that branch executive and grassroots members of the NDC in Ayawaso East constituency have appealed to Hajia Amina Adams, widow of the late MP Honorable Mahama Nasser Ture, to consider contesting the upcoming parliamentary primary. I mean, I think we should stop this whole thing of pushing spouses of persons who have passed on to go and contest their seats. NPA boss Lord Store Management for revamping operations. Black Rasta sued by Shatawale for 100 million cedis for over fraud accusations. All on the front page of the Overseer newspaper.
So we can go online. And my joy online, Oforiatta to face U.S. court today over immigration status as Ghana pushes extradition. And today we also expected a group to demonstrate. They said they are going to picket at the U.S. embassy, all in the bid to put pressure on the U.S. government to bring Oforiatta back home. They're asking for Oforiatta to be brought back home. Now, the whole nation wants Kennedy. Guess who is speaking? Amewu is making a strong case for Kennedy Japan. And Amoabin says that he's open to public service, but he set clear conditions for his involvement in public service. Now, when you believe in God, things become easier. This is Amoabin opening up on faith and his survival. Ghana's mining reforms risk choking investment, says industry body. And I don't fear any human being because of the values that were instilled in me. IES is defending the NPA price floor policy amid debate over fuel pricing. And former energy minister Kwabena Donkor also has some strong views on this price floor conversation.
He'll be joining us later on the Spur
Yes,
show.
yes. And he'll be giving us some perspectives on this particular matter here on the show. Now, if you go to citynewsroom.com, government to probe auction of 300 Metro Mass Transit buses. I went to Swede Road the last time, and the number of buses I saw parked there, and these buses were broken down buses. I was like, hey, Ghana. And so the government is going to probe the auction of 300 Metro Mass Transit buses. And IFC injects up to $300 million to stabilize Ghana's cocoa supply chain. And Oforiatta, as we already know, is to appear in a U.S. court over immigration case today. And GPRTU to hold crunch meeting on the 20th of January, which is today, over commercial vehicle ID tax. And Asanteman has a number 2 now. Otumfo has installed Dasibro Sebons to the 3rd as Mampohene. He will sit on the silver stool, and in the traditional setup, he's number 2 to the Asantehene. So those are stories from citynewsroom.com. We can have BNFT as well. BNFT, if you go, equity rally marks deep concern risks. Government tightens grip on informal metal trade. And gateway to country shouldn't be named after coup leader. These are some activists talking about the Kotoka International Airport and the Kwame Nkrumah International Airport conversation.
Well, if you look at the fact, if you consider the fact that Kwame Nkrumah was voted as the African of the Millennium, okay, and he's Ghanaian, we should all be proud of him.
Yeah.
But do I want to see Kotoka International Airport being named Kwame Nkrumah International Airport?
After Kwame Nkrumah Motorway, after Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kwame Nkrumah.
I think that we could just name it Accra International Airport. That's it.
Okay.
I don't mind naming it Accra International Airport. We lose nothing if we call it Accra International Airport.
Okay.
And when you name it Kwame Nkrumah and we get into the conversation about a coup leader, well, then you're bringing in a lot of issues here and there. I think we just name it Accra International Airport. It's that simple.
Accra International Airport. No Kwame Nkrumah matter.
We can Kwame Nkrumah. Charlie, everybody knows what Kwame Nkrumah did for this country. It's not now that we want to celebrate Kwame Nkrumah again by naming, airport after him. But let's get into the details.
There is an interesting article on page 14 of the Chronicle, written by Efua Ejubi Wiafe Akenten. And she writes, Ghana's urban transport crisis, beyond solutions. How do we sustain the remedies? And it's a very well-written article talking about the challenges we have in the public transport space and the urban transport space and how we can fix it. Now, she writes that existing transport infrastructure and policy frameworks must be reassessed. Clear strategies are needed to balance private operators with revitalized public transport systems while government steadily strengthens its own capacity. And when public transport is efficient and dependable, pricing becomes predictable, services become reliable, and citizens are naturally drawn to public buses as their preferred mode of transport.
Now, the Daily Guide for this morning talks about Ken opening wide lead in NPP race. It's according to a new research. But Heath Goldfields pays 136 million liabilities to former workers. I'll bring you details of that. And the story says that Heath Goldfields Bogoso Prestia mine has paid a total of 136 million towards the settlement of outstanding legacy liabilities to former workers. The company inherited the liabilities from the former leaseholder, and this marks a significant milestone in the company's effort to resolve inherited obligations and strengthen its operational and financial foundations. Bawumia beats peace drum. Former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has called for peace and unity in the NPP. According to him, the NPP's desire of winning power from the NDC in 2028 will materialize when the party members unite and work together. So by 31st January.
Quarter 1st February.
Yeah, we know.
Yes. Quarter 1st February. Everybody will know their how far.
By 7 p.m. In fact, by 7 p.m. 31st January, we'll know. Yeah, who becomes the flag bearer of the NPP.
Yeah. Anyway, we've touched on the gold story and had a lot of details on that, right?
Sure.
Yes. So let's go to some other stories. Bawumia is speaking here. He says that he's not an alien in the NPP. And the story says former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has debunked claims that he's an alien in the party, saying he cannot be said to be a stranger after 17 years of membership and 2 terms as Vice President.
17 years of membership.
Yes.
That's from 2008.
And yes, and speaking to delegates of Asawase in Kumasi, he emphasized that in 5 instances in 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020, and 2024, he had embarked on election campaign for the party as a running mate and presidential candidate in 2024. So
of course, I mean, he is not an alien
at all.
He's been running mate. He's been vice president. He's been flag bearer and presidential candidate of the NPP. That cannot be an alien.
Okay. Yeah.
That cannot be an alien. And if the NPP delegates voted for him, over 60% of them voted for him in 2023, it only showed the sort of support he had in the party. So allow the man to feel free.
Yeah. On the price floor matters, the IES is speaking. The Institute for Energy Security has defended the National Petroleum Authority's price floor policy, describing it as a vital safeguard for fair competition and the long-term stability of Ghana's deregulated petroleum markets. They released the press statement yesterday, and they responded to recent comments by the Chief Executive Officer of Star Oil Ghana, who suggested that the price floor regime prevents the company from selling fuel at much lower prices. According to the IES, Star Oil claimed it could sell petrol at 9.5 Ghana cedis per litre and during off-peak night hours if the price floor were removed. And the IES said the comments had triggered intense public debate, particularly on social media, but cautioned against reducing a complex policy issue to headline-friendly claims. So that is the IES. I like what is happening in the space. There is debate, there is there are suggestions, and there is competition. It's good for the market, isn't it?
It is.